How's it going, folks? Brian Blessing coming to you from Las Vegas, and we are ready to get going with the playoffs in Major League Baseball. And of course, Monday Night Football takes center stage, and basically that's it on a Monday. Just that one standalone game. It'll be a high handle game for sure. Oddsworthbetting.com, our friends, will have the featured pick of the day for you. It's available right below this video. We're looking at Seattle, about a 9.5 point favorite. Total on the game is 43. This number had sat at 10 all week long and comes down to 9.5. Now, part of that could be because the dogs were barking all weekend long on Sunday in the NFL. We saw crazy games. Those late games, Minnesota come roaring back, covered, got the money, didn't get the win at Denver. We saw St. Louis. How about the Rams and their track record for just playing well and owning the teams in their division? They got the money. And it was that kind of day. The Giants walked into Buffalo and won that game. We talked about that game in this space last week. The Bills' ATS record against Miami the week after they play Miami is just flat out horrific. And then the Giants had extra time to prepare. Guys were out, and the Giants walked in, and they were very physical, and they got the win. So the dogs were barking for sure in the NFL on Sunday. As for the Sunday night game, Matthew Stafford generate enough offense and stay upright long enough to put points on the board, because he's been a crash test dummy this year. They'll want to get that running game going, try to take the crowd out of the game. And for Seattle, of course, the status for Marshawn Lynch is up in the air. It could be the Kid Rawls. It could be Fred Jackson. And Seattle just hasn't looked all that right in the early stages of the season. The Green Bay looks really good. Very methodical win at San Francisco. Carolina remains 4-0. Cincinnati keeps winning. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag, but for the most part, the dogs were barking. We had a lot of high-scoring games. So an interesting week 4 in the NFL will wrap up. Joe Philbin in Miami laid the big egg at Wembley. But we wrap up week 4 with the Monday Night Football game in Seattle, and you know that it is going to be a loud, loud crowd. Now, we waited to film this video to find out exactly who was going to be in the postseason in Major League Baseball, because that American League West was just craziness right down to the wire. You had the Angels with the come from behind win, stayed alive on Saturday going into Sunday, and then they finally coughed it up. Texas wins the division. Houston's the wild card. So Tuesday, Houston, and I really am glad for the Astros. Having been there the whole season long, it would have been really, really tough to take if they'd have come up just short at the 11th hour. But they get in. So now on Tuesday, we're looking at Keuchel versus Tanaka, with Houston going to the Bronx to take on the Yankees. The game, how about this? Houston's actually a slight favorite, minus a dime in that spot. Total on the game is 7, shaded to the over. The Yankees played terrible here that final weekend against Baltimore, so current form, it maybe means something in this one-game shootout. Then Wednesday, how about this one? The Cubs in Pittsburgh. We've talked about this matchup. You knew these two teams were on a collision course. One really good team is going to be left behind after Tuesday. It's Arrieta, who's been amazing, goes versus Cole, and the Cubs are actually about 15 to 20 cent favorites in that game, and the total is amazing, 6 under a quarter. And trust me, if down the road you got a game, if you ever got Arrieta going against Greinke or Kershaw, trust me, 5.5 would be the total in that game. They're going to go with Cole. He's had a really good season. I would have personally, for Pittsburgh, I think Liriano could have been a big game pitcher for them in a one-game scenario, but Cole's had a great season. So we know who the participants are going to be. Tuesday, the American League. Wednesday, we get the National League. Then we get into the divisional round of the playoffs. So football, center stage on Monday night. Then it's baseball. And before you know it, football cranks right back up again. Lots of opportunities on the wagering board. And oh, by the way, the National Hockey League starts this week too. I love October, November. They're great months. Tons of action on the wagering boards. Oddsworthbetting.com. The feature pick of the day is little as $7. It's available right below this video. Check it out, and we'll check you out again from Las Vegas on a Tuesday, as we'll preview that Yankees-Astros one-game shootout on Tuesday.